This is the Action Movie Guys podcast, bringing you action movie reviews from across the decades, plus box office numbers and insight like never before. And now, your hosts of the Action Movie Guys podcast, Alex and Nate.
Welcome, everyone, to a brand new episode of the Action Movie Guys podcast, episode 273. Now, we're in the last film of the Pirates of the Caribbean. Now, this final installment is Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales from 2017. I'm your host, Alex Figueroa. My co-host is
Nate from Netflix Reviews.
All right, Nate, I gotta say, I want to ask you a question, right? Because I don't want to go if you've seen this in a long time, because we've already been doing that.
Yeah.
I want to ask you is, were you pretty much done with the franchise? Once you start to watch 5, were you capping out, or were you going, you know what? This was kind of interesting.
I was ready for it to be over. You know what it is? There's some franchises where I can easily, watch them all in, 3 days. And then there are some, and we watch these once a week, you and I.
Yeah.
We don't double up. We literally watch them once a week. And even watching them once a week, I was like, I think I'm done with these pirate movies. It's not a franchise I revisit very often. So it's not like a go-to favorite staple franchise. And the movies are so long. I think that's what it is. They're all so long that I'm like, man, I want to be not watching these anymore. So yeah, I was honestly, not that it was a bad time, but I was ready to be done.
I agree with you. I started to go, okay, I'm done with pirates. I want to dock my boat already.
Pirate fatigue.
Yeah, I was pirate fatigue, but I'm not saying this is a bad movie. I'm just saying in terms of the theme that we're doing, I was already checking out. I was like, okay, I'm pretty much done. Let's get to the new theme month.
Well, you and I, you love James Bond movies, and even in those, you're like, I'm ready to be not watching these anymore. So it happens.
Yeah, no, it does. And the funny thing is that the more you start reviewing movies and you start to see it in a different light than the entertainment value of it, we're doing it in the other aspect of it, it kind of starts to hinder your viewing of some of your favorite franchises and stuff like that. But other than that, all right, let's get right into it. What did the critics and the audience had to say about Pirates of the Caribbean 5?
All right, so this one, the critic score is actually lower than the last movie, 30%. The audience score is higher than the last movie at 60%. So it seems like audiences receive this one, at least critically, a little bit better than the last one. But critics were just like, no, we done with this. We tired of it. We don't want no more.
But, okay, so we were doing the financials of Pirates of the Caribbean, all right? So this is the final one, and then we'll do the other franchise. We'll do another financial thing, because actually it's pretty interesting. Look at these numbers. Yeah. Pirates 5, all right? Dead Men Tell No Tales for 2017. Budget, $230 million.
You can see it, though. It does look good. That's not surprising.
No, for the effects, dude, it still holds up.
Yeah, it looks great. It looks like it cost $230. I believe.
No, it does. Yeah. Domestic, $172 million.
$172? Oh my God, that's horrible.
172 million bucks. Okay. International, $623 million bucks.
Okay.
For a worldwide total of $795 million. Now, this is a question that I want to ask you before we get into this review.
Yeah.
With that number that I told you, is this movie considered a flop?
No, I would say no. It's not a flop. It's not a mega hit the way the two that hit $1 billion were. You know what I mean? But even if you let's factor in marketing, let's say $230 million budget. Let's say they did $150 on marketing, right?
Right.
That takes you to almost $400 million. You're still at 700 and something, you're still making money. It's just not as much as you did before. So I wouldn't call it a flop, but I would call it a not something Disney was excited about, and probably why it's the last one, and it's been 6 years already. I know they talked about rebooting it and stuff. I wouldn't call it a flop, but it was not the extreme hit that the others were.
Yeah, because I was, I'm really lost when it comes to numbers like this.
Yeah.
Because all the arguments with people are like, when numbers like this is, it's a flop. And I'm like, how is it a flop? Even in Johnny Depp's trial, when they had the experts on the thing and they were scolding him, and they were like, they gave up his numbers for Pirates 5, and they were like, it's a considered flop. And I'm like, how is that a flop? Even the guy that's on the stand was like, this is not a flop. This cannot be a flop. Just like Batman v Superman did $800 million is not a flop. But
they
people want that billion.
Maybe they look at US only and they're like, 100 and something million. That's a flop. and they don't factor in the worldwide budget. And also, what they'll do is they'll compare it to the previous one. Well, the last one made $1 billion. This one only made $700 million. That's $300 million less. That's a flop, you know? But it's not. It's not a flop.
Yeah, it's not. But you know what? It's not a flop, but let's see. If the movie still holds up, one, does it tell a way better story than part 4?
Right.
Okay. So with that said, let's start it all off. Captain Jack Sparrow for the final time, hopefully.
Yeah.
But the final time, Johnny Depp,
You're right.
hopefully, as Captain Jack Sparrow. All right, good. Take it away.
I don't know how this review is going to go. I'll be honest with you. I don't know your opinion on this movie. I know I liked it when I saw it at the theater, but that was 6 years ago. I have not seen it in 6 years. Johnny Depp, I feel like his downward trend of being a great character continued in this to me. He didn't feel important in this movie, first of all. You know, I'll wait for storyline, but you have a lot of other characters that have actual story arcs. And what is Jack Sparrow's story arc in this? There's an old dead pirate who wants to kill him, and he's trying to stay alive. That's literally like it in a nutshell. He's trying to stay alive, right? He has nothing. He doesn't have anything he's really going for per se. He doesn't have anything. He's just there babysitting these other characters and trying not to die. On top of that, they made him into like, he always liked rum, but the dude is like so drunk throughout this whole movie. Like it almost becomes a joke. It's like, really? He's falling in the mud in his face, like, you know, and walks into the bar. This compass that's been so important in every movie, he just gives it away for some rum. I feel like they did a lot of stuff to his character that I didn't really like. I think Johnny Depp's fine in it. It's not his fault. He didn't write the movie, but I don't like the way they wrote him. That being said, he's just entertaining enough for me to like not totally hate it. He's kind of funny. I think he had some funny lines in this one. I love this. And the innuendo was really strong in this movie that you're always talking about. That part where the girl is jumping off the boat and he's like, no, don't stop. Go ahead. And then the guy is like, I saw her ankles. He's like, you would have seen way more if you kept your mouth shut. That part always makes me laugh. So he's still humorous, but man, they just did him dirty. I feel like they did him dirty. I gave him a 3. I won't go below 3 because he's still watchable, but I just didn't like some of the choices.
Yeah, I'm with you on it. I gave him a 3 too. In a way, I like the character as a supporting character. He's a supporting actor in this movie. He's like a supporting character. I like the way they wrote him on this one way better than he did in part 4.
True.
He was a little bit like he was in the first 3 films. It's just they made him more serious, which I didn't get. But I did understand the beginning he was drunk because he was out of luck and he felt like everything was coming down. He lost his ship, he lost his crew, he lost everything. So I was like, all right, cool. He gave up his thing, whatever. But you're right. It was just something was really off. And again, that's the problem with these type of movies. And it happens with a lot of other franchises when they introduce a lot of actors in. You got to share the spotlight. And with Johnny Depp, they never did after part 3. I mean, not even with because even part 3, you had Will Turner and Elizabeth. So that was even more on his, like, I think his only great films would be 1 and 2. Like, that's it in terms of Jack Sparrow, the pirate. But this one, he was a supporting. He was like another support. I liked him. I thought he was fun. He was funny as hell in this movie.
It was funny, yeah.
I loved it when he was like, man, when they were on the boat and she was like, oh, I'm a horologist. And he was like, oh, that's nothing to be ashamed of, love.
Yeah. I was looking for one of those one time in a church or something like that.
Yeah. You could tell he ad-libbed a lot of his lines and they were freaking funny. If those were ad-libs, because there's a lot of parts that they did say that he did improv with the character, they were funny. There was some parts in this. You're right. The thing with the boat with him and Henry was mad funny.
Was funny.
Him and the group of guys talking about her occupation was even funnier. And when he told Hector, he was like, Hector, just to let you know, your daughter's the horologist.
Like it's such a negative, like, look at you. You shouldn't even be proud.
Yeah, I thought that was all funny. So anyway, I gave it a 3, you gave it a 3. Okay, now main villain is Javier Bardem. Captain Salazar.
Salazar. Okay. I think we may not have the same score on this one. Because I did like him. I liked him way better than Blackbeard. You know, if we're comparing this one to the last one, really, to me, you're right. I feel like 1, 2, and 3 is one set of movies, and then 4 and 5 got to be treated like on their own, you know, separately. Compared to Blackbeard, He's significant upgrade. Significant. I would say, for me, I put him on par with Barbossa from the first movie. I actually gave him the same score. He's still not better than Davy Jones. No one is. No one is better, but he's probably the closest. He looks cool as hell. The freaking black oil and stuff this guy coming out of his mouth like an octopus or something. The design that his hair is like always waving. I love that. Yeah, it always looks like he's underwater. I like the design of these villains. So in the first movie, you had that they turn into like dead guys when they go in the moonlight. And then in the Davy Jones one, they're all like sea creatures and they have like stuff. And then this one, however they looked when they died, that's how they stayed. So there'd literally be a person that's just like a foot and like an arm. And then they're invisible. I thought it was pretty clever, honestly. I did like it. My only thing that he doesn't get a 5, I give him a 4, by the way. I gave him a strong 4, though. A strong 4. Javier Bardem's performance, awesome. Love him. Can listen to that guy talk. I can watch that guy act in anything. I love him. His motivation to me, it was too simple. He is a guy who wants to kill pirates. He gets tricked by Jack Sparrow, young Jack Sparrow, which, by the way, the de-aging in this looks better than the de-aging in movies that are coming out now 6 years later. Young Johnny Depp looked better than young Indiana Jones in the new one. He gets tricked into going into the devil's anus or whatever that thing is called, the cave.
The triangle.
He goes in there. Then he dies. And then he becomes like a ghost. And he's like, I gotta kill Jack Sparrow. That's it. I just gotta kill Jack Sparrow. His ship was cool, though, that it opens up and eats the other ships. Bro, you're right. You mentioned this in the other movie. The bad guy ships are always superior to all other ships. They're freaking sweet. So I almost gave him a 5. I thought I was gonna give him a 5, but when I was watching, I was like, that's all he wants? Like, he just wants basic revenge, and he wasn't complex enough. Still a great 4 for me.
It's all right, man. I did it for you. I give him a 5.
I knew you might.
Yeah, he was not. You know what? I understand what you mean in terms of like his motivations and stuff, but you know what? He has so much more than Blackbeard.
Yes.
And so much more than Davy Jones in At World's End. And the other guy, what was it? The English dudes, whatever his name was. Yeah, those dudes. Like, I felt like he was a combination of like Davy Jones and like what? All right, I'll do this way. He should have been what Blackbeard should have been. That's what I wanted to say. He should have been what Blackbeard should have been. I loved him in this movie. He was so good. He killed everybody, and I loved it. He did not, there was no letting people go. He was killing everyone. And I said, hells yeah. I love they could run over water because it made the sense of danger even more. It's like, this dude could run through water. It's not he can't swim. They had sharks, okay?
The zombie sharks.
Yeah, I loved it. I was like, I thought those were really cool. You're right. That ship is so freaking awesome. I love that. Cool. I think that's the best ship. I think out of all of them, dude. Better than Blackbeard. See, Blackbeard had the flaming,
the
flaming mouth.
Ship. Yeah,
he had that. But this one goes up and it eats you. It's like a scorpion.
It just opens up and just devours your ship.
Yeah, it's like you can't run away from that. It's better than the Flying Dutchman. Way better than the other one. So honestly, I think Salazar is not Perkins. I think Davy Jones is the best villain. But I think Salazar is the best overall package from ship to crew. Because his crew is freaking, they don't mess around, bro.
Nah, they just be killing people. They kill a lot of people in this movie.
Yeah, they did. And I loved it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then, it's just, I had to give it a 5. He was really good. I understand the motivation and stuff.
Yeah.
But even when he was telling the story about how Jack duped him, it was even good. I felt it. I was like, man, this dude really hates this guy. Yeah. So I kind of liked it. It was actually pretty cool. The only nitpick I will say is that when he talked to Henry the first time, whoever recorded it or the voice modulator they gave him sounded like he was gargling mad water. He was like, kill him. He was
full of, his mouth was full of oil. That's why. Like, geez, relax, man.
But other than that, and the soundtrack for him is amazing. When he came on the boat. But anyway, other than that, I give him a 5. You give him a 4. Action scenes.
I like the action in this movie. I like it. I think it looks cool. You know what I like? That this movie has some daytime action scenes. That's welcome. You know me. all these episodes we've been doing, I love some action when I can see the daylight. Like, I can see what's going on. You know? Like, why does every action scene in the previous movies happen at night? Like, not all of them, but a lot of them, or in the dark. Remember you talked about the sword fight with Penelope Cruz, like dark as heck. Why is it so dark? Everything with the mermaids, it was all at nighttime. Everything's at nighttime. This movie, we got some daytime. It looks beautiful. I love it. I think the escape, I love the bank scene in the beginning when they're trying to steal the vault and they just steal the whole bank, the whole building. There's like nothing. There's like one coin in it.
He puts it away.
Yeah, that chase scene was fun. Not amazing, but fun. Then you have the later escape scene with Henry and the girl when she's going to get hanged and all that. That was fun. The dead sharks, I agree with you. Cool choice. I like it. Very fun when they're running on the water. It looks cool. For me, I do like the scene with Jack Sparrow when he's going between the boats. I didn't love that the wooden part of the ship came alive and it was like a giant like God of War monster from the video game. But the rest of it looked cool. I liked how he was, jumping off the cannons and all that kind of stuff. There's plenty of sword fights. It's a swashbuckling good time. I gave it a 4. It's still not a 5, but it is good. And there's a good amount for the runtime, too.
Well, you know what? I did it again. I gave it a 5. This thing is so much fun. Yes, we are evaluating it as this single picture.
Yeah.
But I'm coming from what we saw for 4. Like, is this way better than 4 in terms of action? I gotta say, it is by 100% way better. Yeah. This is why. You're right. Here we go. Yeah. We had boats attacking boats.
Yeah, eating them.
We got my man Sarzar's boat eating other boats. Okay? We got Sarzar slapping everyone around. I mean, he's killing everybody. He hung dudes up like pigs and slaughtering them. Because he was like, you told me you're going to bring me Jack, and you didn't, and everyone's dying. Yeah. He had the best line. Every time I stomp the floor, someone dies until you... He just gets stomping the floor. Yeah, I'm like, yo, you got that awesome scenes. You got scenes of him fighting Jack Sparrow. Awesome. You're right. There is so much action in this movie, and I don't feel like there's one outdoes the other. I think everything blended so well that it felt like an adventure, a pirate, like finally a pirate movie.
Yeah.
And on land, because we got it on land, and now we got it on the oceans. Because that's the biggest gripe me and you had was, we're Pirates of the Caribbean, there was no boat fights in the water. Right. But they gave it to us in this one. And I liked it. So that's why I gave it a 5. I think we had the overall package of land, water, and all this awesome sea effects and everything. So, yeah, I give it a 5. You gave it a 4.
Won't get an argument from me.
Storyline.
Well, let's dial it back a little bit, though. Let's dial it back with the storyline. It's fine. Let's be real. You know what? This more has a storyline of an Indiana Jones movie than a pirate movie.
I agree.
Let's go get this item. That's the same as the last movie. Well, no, the last one they were going to the Fountain of Youth, which is also an Indiana Jones. Item. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's the same crap. We need to get the trident of Poseidon.
The Poseidon trident.
Yeah, and I'm like, come on, man. I will give it credit in the story department. Unlike the last movie, at least this one takes place in the Caribbean. Like they go to like the Bahamas, and that freaking last movie was in Europe. I'm like, why? What is this? Is not Pirates of the Caribbean. This is Pirates of Europe. The first 3 movies are all set around the Caribbean for the most part. This one, they go to the Caribbean. I like that. I don't love that it's just a let's go get this item movie. That's what it is. It's a race. It's a race. Who's going to get there first? And that's the same thing about the last movie. I do think this one's better. I think it does it better. Now, let's get to the nitty gritty. There's 2 new characters in this movie. And I feel like this is where writers go when they're not really sure how to introduce new characters. They say, let's make some of these people have kids. And now we get kids of former characters. You have 2. You have Will Turner and Elizabeth Swann's son, Henry. And then you have Barbossa's daughter, Karina. I liked one of them better than the other one. I actually liked Karina better than I liked Henry. I don't like that actor. I don't like that. I hate that kid. His name is Brendan Thwaites. He's like Jai Courtney's like other cousin to me. Everything he's in, I do not like him. I don't like his acting. I'm not a fan of him. Okay. And I thought in this movie, like he was just like a fake Will Turner. He just felt like a fake Will Turner to me. Where at least she's nothing. She's Barbossa's daughter. It's revealed. She's nothing like Barbossa. Okay. I feel like she had a good, her goal. She wanted to find this thing. She had so that she could be close with her dad. I can't get mad at her motivations for anything. I thought it was good. I can't get mad at his either. He wants to get it so he could, free his dad from the curse. That's noble. I just think he felt like Diet Will Turner while she felt like she didn't feel like Elizabeth Swann. She felt like her own, new character to me. Either way, I gave it a 3. I think it's just okay. I don't think this is like an amazing storyline.
Yeah, I mean, I understand everything you're saying, like in terms of the characters and stuff. I mean, I think he played both parts in terms of like Henry Turner. I think he played both the parents though. Like he had like the fire of the mom and the annoying of his dad. Like they gave a lot of traits of them because they were like, if you were a fan of the Pirates, you get to see both of their personalities in Henry, which I kind of understood and whatever. But my thing is, it always throws me off is that Jack is the same old Jack. Like Jack didn't have kids or nothing. So like to me, it was just like that always felt weird. I liked the Barbossa chick. I thought she was pretty cool. She was an astronomer or whatever you call those that looks into the stars, and she's a scientist, but they call her a witch at the time. So that is all cool. I think in terms of the story, I do enjoy the Trident. I always like those type of stories. Like it's like National Treasure. Like I always love anything that has to do with history and how can they make this even more better. Like at least they took time and they gave you a reason why. Like, I felt like the Holy Grail, they didn't in part 4. It was just like, okay, I'm going to get the things to drink everlasting, whatever. This one, you're right. They had purpose. I enjoyed it for what it was. That set piece at the end was phenomenal, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know how they did it, but I thought that was with all that giant water on the side, and then I mean, once they break it, all the water starts to come in, collapsing.
The Red Sea, Moses separating the sea part.
Yeah, I thought that was all pretty cool. And then Barbossa sacrifices himself for his daughter. So I thought that was all cool. I don't know. I gave it a 3 too. I gave it a good. It was way better than part 4. I will say that. Yeah. I don't care. Part 4 made $1 billion. We don't know why, but this one should have made $1 billion compared to that one. Actually, we should have made $2 billion with the storyline. I like the storyline. I thought it was good. I thought it was great to me. And I love the backstories between Salazar and Jack. Like, it actually made sense. Like, he told the story on why he hates this guy so much, you know? And we didn't get that that's one nitpick I will say we never got in Dead Man's Chest. Yeah. How Jack and Davy Jones, like their history, we never got that. Yeah. And Will Turner's dad, we never got that either. Like how they became best friends, I don't know. It's just whatever. It is what it is. But anyway, I gave it a 3. You gave it a 3 overall.
So I wrestled with my score here. I think this movie is significantly better than 4. I will much rather watch this again than part 4 any day of the week and twice on a Tuesday. But do I think it's better than the original trilogy? I don't think it's better than 1. Nothing in this series is better than 1. I don't think this is better than 2. But I would put this on equal footing with 3, except I like it because it's at least like 40 minutes shorter than that one. That was the one that was like, it was way too long. It was way too long, too much going on. And so I do think this is, if not better than, like very equal to 3. So I think it's a worthy follow-up. I wish this was part 4 and part 4 was nothing. You know, like part 4 didn't exist. I do like the ending. I like that Keira Knightley, even for one scene, came back for the, to be on the hill. And then the end credit scene was, did you watch the end credit scene this time? No, you didn't watch it on the last time. You didn't watch it again, did you? I told you there was end credit scenes and you still didn't watch it.
What was it?
So basically Will Turner stays and he's in bed with Elizabeth and he hears footsteps in the hallway, and then you see a shadow and lightning and it's like a big crab hand, and then you see like the tentacles face, and he's like freaks. He turns around and then you just see the crab hand like come down, and then he wakes up and he's like, it was Davy Jones, it was a bad dream. So then he looks over, he looks at Elizabeth, and then he lays back down, and then the camera pans down on the floor and there's like little like gross little wet things like like he was maybe there. So I thought that was cool. That was cool. The post-credit scenes in these movies are pretty cute. I give it this is gonna be weird, but I give it a 3.5. 3.5. I haven't busted out a half in a while, but I will do it. I will do it when I feel like it's not quite a 4, but it's better than a 3. So I gotta give it the 3.5. I think this is, to me, slightly better than 3. I would put this on before 3 because at least it's not 4 hours long.
Yeah, I gave this a 4. I absolutely like this movie a lot. Yeah. I remember coming out the theater with my wife, and I was like, this movie was fun. Yeah. I never got a lot of people's hate on this movie because there's some people that hate this movie. I don't get it.
Me neither.
This movie's really good. I think it's better. I think it's way better than part 3. I'm going to be honest with you. I think part 2 is way too long, way too many characters on screen. I think this one, I still think they could have toned back the characters, but I think it was a great amount of chemistry with everybody. So I enjoyed this one a lot. I'm definitely picking this one up on 4K if it ever comes out on 4K, whatever it is.
It is on 4K.
So it was really good. I'm definitely going to be picking this up. I will go 1, 2, 5, 3, and 4. That's my order.
I would rank them the same way.
Yeah, that's my favorite. And I think Javier Bardem is amazing. I mean, he was in Skyfall too. He's just amazing.
So good.
Yeah,
he was
so
a 5
good.
in that movie for me.
Yeah, he was
nasty
super 5.
Face. Yeah. His droopy face.
His mad droopy. See what they did to me? All right, here we go.
Gross.
Total points.
Total points, 17.5 for your boy, 17.5. I think this is a good movie. Some flaws, but I agree with you. If there's people who really hate, well, there's someone who hates every movie, so I can't say anything.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of the Pirates series, though, and you like 4 better than this, I don't understand that. I won't understand it. You can't explain. You could try, but you can't explain it to me. This one's better, and it's better than 3 is too bloated. This is lean, mean, more fun, and looks nice. So 17.5 for me.
Yeah, I give this a 20, even 20.
Nice.
I like this movie a lot, man. I think it has not a perfect villain, because I think Davy Jones is the perfect villain, but I think the overall package of a villain, my man Salazar is it. I think he was great. Jack Sparrow's fun.
Good music in this one, too.
Time. Huh?
Good music in this one.
Oh, this movie's,
really
this music is amazing.
Yeah.
They brought back the original score and then gave a little new stuff, and I liked it a lot.
Yes.
This is, I think, has to be my favorite besides Pirates 1. This has to be my favorite one in Davy Jones Part 2. I think 1, 2, and 5 has the best soundtrack in the entire franchise. What is coming up next on the podcast?
All right, coming up next, we got continuing on with our comic book movies that never got a sequel, the one-offs, as we call them around here. We're going to be doing 2009's Watchmen by Zack Snyder, podcast favorite. Zack Snyder. Haven't done this movie on the podcast. There's a lot of Zack Snyder movies we haven't done, by the way. We've only done Batman v Superman, Man of Steel,
Sucker Punch,
and Sucker Punch. That's it so far. So this is our 4th, and there's a couple other ones we could do. And then finally, Alex, we are free. We are free of the boats. We're getting off the high seas and we're going into the land. We're going to be starting a new series, X-Men. Now, this one has more movies than the Pirates movies, but at least halfway through, there's a switch where it's going to feel like 2 different series. So I feel like that will help with watching them, all back to back. So we will be starting with the original OG, the movie that relaunched the comic book movie X-Men, where they wore black leather.
That's 2000, right? That has
2000, baby. This was before Spider-Man. This was before all these movies, this launched or relaunched the popularity of the comic book movie.
No, you're right. I mean, this started everything off. I mean, this is way before Ever Essence.
And this is, of course, a Fox property, so they could have called Evanescence up. Say, hey,
that's true.
and
Nickelback, too.
Yeah. Logan just
Nickelback, too. And they say the hero could save us.
Oh, that was Spider-Man, right? Yeah, Spider-Man. Yeah, I don't remember any songs from the X-Men soundtrack. I don't even know if it has a soundtrack, but...
No, it don't.
Nickelback that was Spider-Man. I remember that.
That was Mad Spider-Man, yeah. Where
I'll never forget that.
Oh no, that was a big hit, bro. Everyone was rocking that. Yeah. Even Subway sandwiches had that song.
Made sense.
Oh my god,
made sense.
It does. It worked for them. All right. Anyway, you guys want to follow us in our social media accounts? Please follow Nate over on Instagram at Netflix Reviews. Check out the podcast with him and his friends called Netflix Movie Reviews. Anything Action Movie Guys, head over to Instagram at Action Movie Guys Podcast, or head over to our official website at geeksandflix.com for all Action Movie Guys podcast stuff, Nate's movie reviews, and all our live streams, all in one package for you guys. Merch store is coming soon. Other than that, I'm your host, Alex Figueroa, and my co-host is
Nate from Netflix Reviews.
Be awesome to each other and geek out.